Hey divas! Did you know that you can drink wine if you do intermittent fasting? If you want to learn more about intermittent fasting and hear about my experience with intermittent fasting so far, and find out how I lost the 7 pounds that I packed on during quarantine, stay tuned. Grab yourself a glass of wine, hit that subscribe button, because I always forget to say that, hit that notification bell, and join me as I talk to you about my intermittent fasting journey so far. Hi, I'm Andrea. Welcome to my channel, Dress Like You Mean It. I do unboxings, shopping hauls, talk about this and that, Stitch Fix, Trunk Club, all those fun things. So, grab yourself a glass of wine and let's get to it. Let's talk about intermittent fasting. Now, intermittent fasting is not a diet. That's the first thing I want to say. A lot of people use it for weight loss, but really it's a lifestyle. It's a way of, it's a pattern of eating. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Now, I first heard about intermittent fasting a couple of years ago. I'd read something about it. My daughter and her boyfriend do it, and I always thought, oh, I could never do that because I love to eat, and I like to have my cup of tea with milk and sugar in the morning, and I like to eat whatever I want, whenever I want, and I don't want to be restrained. But when I was a teenager, I was stick thin. I weighed all of 93 pounds soaking wet, and I stayed that way through a couple pregnancies, and it wasn't until after, I gained weight for the pregnancies, don't get me wrong there, but it was after I had my third child that I started to gain weight. I was older, and then when menopause hit, oh boy, did it really start packing on the weight, and primarily in the tummy area. So, I got up to about 134 pounds at the height of the quarantine. And I have tried Weight Watchers. I tried Weight Watchers about a year ago, and I did lose weight, but I obsessed about food, and I felt like I was always hungry. And then I said, forget this. It's just, I don't want to be somebody that obsesses about food. And I tried like some clean fast and things like that, but I just decided, I will just try to eat healthy, exercise, and hopefully not, continue to gain weight. But it just kept creeping up, and then of course quarantine hit, and there was more wine, and there was cookies and muffins, and what else do you have to do but eat? At least that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. And then I decided, I started watching YouTube videos about intermittent fasting, and I started listening to some podcasts. And they say that you can start with a 12-hour fasting period, and then that's 12 hours of eating in a 24-hour day. So I thought, I can do that. I'll give it a try. So that's where I started. I hadn't read any books. I had just watched the videos. And so I started with 12 hours, and after a couple weeks I had lost a couple pounds, and I gradually started increasing my fasting window. So what it means is you don't eat or drink anything with calories or flavored during your fasting period. Now, there is controversy out there, or maybe controversy isn't the right word, disagreement about what you can drink during your fasting period. I adhere to what is referred to as a clean fast when I'm fasting. I drink plain water, I drink black tea. I'm not a coffee drinker. That's the other thing that's allowed. Plain black coffee, plain black tea, no sweeteners, no artificial sweeteners, because artificial sweeteners actually will cause your body to release insulin. And insulin is the fat storing hormone. So you shouldn't use artificial sweeteners and creamers, although I know some people do it. That's food. And if you're eating food, you're not fasting. So I gradually have increased my window over the 9.5 weeks that I've been fasting. I've lost a total of 7 pounds, and I hurt my back about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was exercising pretty rigorously up to that point, and I feel like my weight gain has slowed a little bit since I haven't been able to exercise. I started walking a few weeks ago, and my back is feeling better, so I'm planning next week to start exercising again. During your eating window, the period of time that you eat, so now I'm up to a 16-hour fast, and that means that I can eat for 8 hours. So I get up in the morning, I have black tea, I drink water, and then at 16 hours, I drink some apple cider vinegar in a cup of water. I do a tablespoon of ACV and water, and that is supposed to help with weight loss as well and keep your insulin levels low. And then I start eating. And you can eat whatever you want. There are no restrictions in terms of food. Now, some people do find that certain foods don't, contribute to their weight loss. You can't overeat. Yeah, I mean, if you overeat, you're not going to lose weight. That's just kind of a fact of life. But I'm not counting calories. I hate counting calories. I hated counting points when I did Weight Watchers. I'm not going to count macros. I'm not going to count anything but the hours. And so far for me, it has worked. I find that I am more picky about what I eat. I want good food that's going to nourish my body. So a lot of times my first meal, what's called your break fast, is I like chia pudding made with coconut milk and nuts, and I throw in some maple almond butter and a bunch of fruit. That's a common breakfast for me. I also like to have avocado toast with a fried egg on top. That's another common breakfast for me. Break fast, because I'm eating around 2 o'clock now. And then I'm satisfied. I used to snack at late afternoon when I would eat breakfast and lunch, and then I'd be hungry by 4 or 5 o'clock. And I'm not usually hungry anymore. And then I just eat a dinner with steak or fish or chicken and vegetables, a salad, and I drink wine. And I usually have at least a couple glasses of wine most days. So I've been able to achieve this weight loss without depriving myself of the foods and things that I love. So that's my experience with intermittent fasting. A book that I read that I found very helpful and was very well researched, and I'll put a link in the description, is Fast, Feast, Repeat. It was written by Jen Stevens, and she does the podcast, one of the podcasts that I listen to. And I found it was, contained a lot of research. And the other thing about intermittent fasting is it's not just for losing weight. It results in decreased inflammation. I've had a long history of issues with reflux that flares up regularly, and I have not had any problems with it since I've started this. And it's supposed to be good for your cholesterol, and it's helped people that are diabetics. So it has a lot of health benefits. So it's something that I think I will probably continue to do even after I've gotten to, I don't like to say goal weight, because it's really more about what I see in the mirror than what I see on the scale. A little bit of what I see on the scale, but I will probably continue to do it because I have good energy. It helps, I feel clearer, my brain feels clearer. When you hit menopause, a lot of the complaints are about brain fog, but I haven't had that recently since I've been doing this, and I think that's part of the reason why. So let me know if you have any questions. I'm by no means an expert. If you really want the scoop on it, read that book, and I hope that this has been helpful for you. I hope that you learned something. All right. Remember, hit that subscribe button. If you liked this, if it was helpful, give me a thumbs up. Hit that notification bell, and check out my next video when it comes out. And in the meantime, dress like you mean it.